Good afternoon. It's October the 17th, the year 2000. I'm Mayo Livingston, and this afternoon Tom Bush and I, on behalf of the Southwest Georgia Regional Library, are interviewing and recording the adventures of Quitman Phillips during World War II. Quitman, tell us when you joined the Navy. I believe you were in the Navy.
I joined in 1937.
How old were you when you joined?
18 years old.
And you were trained what were you trained to do?
Nothing really. I was a deckhand, a seaman. That's what I was when I first went in the Navy. But I did that for several years until I transferred to the repair department. I went in as a molder. Now, if you don't know what that is, that's making castings out of metal.
That's what we want to know. That's what you were trained to do, was to make castings. And
later on, yeah. After, I spent several years as a seaman. I couldn't get transferred to anything else, so I didn't care anything about the deck force.
Well, you were assigned to the USS Argonne.
Yeah, I spent 3 months in Norfolk, Virginia going through boot camp.
Yeah.
And from there I went to the West Coast and went aboard the USS Argonne for permanent duty.
And this was in 1941 or 40?
No, this was in 1938.
Okay, all right. And then you went aboard the Argonne and you ended up somehow on December the 7th, 1941 at Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, we were stationed out there at that time. Well, we were temporarily. We were not permanent stationed there, but we went out there. It was only supposed to be gone for 3 months. And we wound up staying out there till after Pearl Harbor was over.
Where were you on the morning of December the 7th?
Laying in my bunk reading when it started.
And you heard when the bombs, you knew something was...
I turned that bunk bottom side up, getting out of there. I didn't really know what was going on to start with,
Well, did any of y'all?
No, sir. That came as a complete surprise to us. And we had nothing really to protect ourselves with. All we had was 4 3-inch guns that were World War I vintage, and we had 4 5-inch on deck, but they would only elevate 45 degrees, so we couldn't shoot them because we were tied up at 1010 dock right across from Battleship Road when the Japs hit. And they were coming in so low we couldn't shoot because we'd have been firing into the battleships over there.
Well, did you know how to shoot? Did you know how to shoot those
Not
things?
too much, because we had very little training with them. We, back then, who thought anything? There wasn't too much actual combat training going on back before the war because everything seemed peaceful. We had never had any real training.
But you didn't have any kind of anti-aircraft guns or machine guns aboard the Argonne. Now tell us, the Argonne was a repair ship.
Yeah, well, it was a small craft repair is what it was. It was built during World War I as a transport. And then, I don't know, somewhere else it wound up as a small craft repair. I don't know where it all came in at, but that's what it was. Look at the boats.
Yeah. Well, were you working on any kind of ship when on December the 7th, you all were just...
We were just loafing there. See, I don't even know why we were there. We didn't have any repairs to do. And,
well, did any of the officers, was the captain there? Was the captain on the...
I don't really know. Now, you're talking about dates and presence of people. That was a long time ago. I don't remember. I don't think he was. I think he was on the beach at the time that
Yeah.
on short.
But did you see the Arizona when it blew up?
No.
Did you hear? You must have heard it.
Oh yeah, I heard
Now,
it.
you're right across from Battleship Road.
Yeah.
And that would be, I think we talked about it, the Nevada, the California, the West Virginia, the Arizona. And the Nevada did get underway. You said
That's the only battleship that got underway.
and the rest of them got pretty well hit.
Well, that's the only one that didn't get hit. I don't know how it got out, but see, they started out to sea, and they got as far as the entrance to the channel, and they Japs jumped on it, and they thought they were going to sink it in the channel, so they beached it, keep it from getting in the channel. Because if they'd ever got there, there wouldn't been no way any ships would got in or out of it.
And you said actually a chief petty officer was running it.
Well, the captain and the executive officer got killed, so they stated. I don't know. I can't prove that because I wasn't there. But they claim that this quartermaster chief beached it to keep it from sinking in the channel. That's all hearsay.
Quitman, what did you do the rest of the next day or so in Pearl Harbor? I mean, obviously there was smoke, people were dead, hurt.
Well, see, that after the Japs left, after the bombing and everything had ceased, they sent me and 6 other guys aboard a destroyer out there. They were undermanned, and they sent us out there to compliment their personnel, and I stayed on that thing 3 days, and we was out there chasing. Thought they'd run down some of those submarines or one of those carriers out there, but we never did see anything. I spent 3 days and nights on that destroyer, and don't ask me the name of it because I don't know. Long back that time, I didn't know nothing much.
Well, did you know what was going on? I mean, you knew
Oh yeah, I
it was war.
knew what was going on. I
Yeah.
knew they sent us out there to try to catch them that Jap aircraft carrier or any submarines. They had submarines out there too, but we never did run into any of those. I stayed on it 3 days and 3 nights.
That's when you slept on the deck?
I slept
You didn't
on
have
this.
a bunk?
I didn't have no bunk. I didn't have no clean clothes. I didn't have no toothbrush. I didn't have no razor. And I stayed on there and slept on a steel deck. What little sleeping I got, with a life jacket for a pillow.
Well, is that, but you learned, you were actually manning a gun there.
No, I was
No?
on the ammunition party. I was standing back there on the deck with
Passing the bridge.
water running up around my waist out there, holding a 45-inch a 5-inch projectile in my hand.
I mean, that would be the 3-inch shell that
5-inch.
5-inch, all
Yeah.
right. So,
Boy, they weighed 45 pounds, just the projectile. See, they wasn't fixed ammunition. It was powder bags.
yeah. Well, the destroyer you on there, was it at Pearl Harbor also? Well, I mean, it
I
had
don't
to
know.
be.
I don't know where it was. It was probably around beyond Fort Island.
But you said that you never got any breakfast on December the 7th.
No, I didn't. I didn't get no breakfast till that night. We were too busy around there. I don't know why they didn't get no breakfast, but I went aboard that destroyer and they fed us a meal that night.
And then you went out, you left Pearl Harbor. And
Oh
went
yeah, we was out to sea when we got that supper.
Well, didn't you go on further to, it was a supply ship that you all had ran aground on a coral reef.
Yep. Well, we went down there after Pearl Harbor was all over there. They sent us down there to try to get it off the reef. We didn't have any success doing that. Every time they blast the coral out from under it, it just sank deeper in the water, so they finally just gave up on it and left it there. The remains of it may still be there, I don't know.
But that was right after Pearl Harbor.
Well, about a month later.
Okay. And then you went down to New Caledonia, New Zealand.
I went to New Caledonia and stayed in there for 2 or 3 months in the harbor down there, and then we went on down to New Zealand, Auckland, New Zealand, and went into the Navy Yard down there. Stayed there about 3 months.
Well, were you on the Argonne at that time? You were
Yeah.
still assigned to the.
Yeah.
Well, when did you go to the Russell Islands? Had they ever
Oh
invaded?
Lord, I don't know. We was all over them islands down there. And we had no certain date. See, we went down. They sent us to Guadalcanal, and we were supposed to anchor off of Guadalcanal there. And they changed our berth across the bay over there to an island, and another island, and it was harbor back there behind there, and anti-submarine nets.
Yeah.
And that night, after we had moved that afternoon, the Japs sank cargo ship that come in there and dropped anchor in the berth we were supposed to have. So we stayed in Tulagi. That Tulagi was the name of the island. And we stayed in there a month or two, working on torpedo boats and small craft. And we used to every night when during moonlight, they used to have a Jap plane come over. Of course, he never hit anything around there. They call him Washing Machine Charlie. And Charlie, if it was moonlight night, Charlie.
Just the one plane?
One plane.
Yeah.
But.
And you worked?
They, one night they sent one of these P-38s, you know, remember
Yeah.
the twin boom?
Yeah.
They sent one of them up, and he did away with Washing Machine Charlie. We didn't have no more problems with him.
But he would drop a few bombs and leave until it sent up the P-38.
P-38 did away with him.
Well, you mentioned that you were working on PT boats?
Yeah, mostly. And PT boats and minesweepers and tugs and whatever the small craft we did work on a few destroyers. It was minor repair because we weren't equipped.
Well, the biggest thing you had going, the PT boats, that was in the days when John Kennedy. You never did meet him, did you?
No, not that I know of.
But the PT boats and the small boats, that was made for that kind of warfare.
Well, we didn't have. It was a smaller ship than actually a repair ship. We didn't have all the heavy equipment and everything that you need for that major repair for bigger ships. And we did do some work on a cruiser or two, but it was minor stuff, just doing some welding and so forth on it.
Now you went from there to the aircraft carrier Intrepid.
Yeah, I got transferred off from my old ship in Russell Islands, and I went from there to Guadalcanal, down to Nomia, and I caught a ship, went back to the States, and I stayed there a while, and I went aboard the Intrepid.
You hadn't been home during this whole time. You'd been out there. Your folks did they?
Well, they knew where I was at more or less because they had ways of learning about things. We were not allowed to write nothing about where we at and nothing else.
You got on the Intrepid in 1944. Is that right? About that.
Yeah, about that.
And you said you didn't have any, when you got on it, you didn't have anything to do.
Nope.
Nope.
No,
And that
we didn't. They had them foundry on there, but they didn't make nothing but junk. They didn't have nothing. No, big equipment and nothing else. I don't know what the heck they sent me on there for. I didn't do nothing.
Well, then, didn't you say that you did have a kamikaze attack? You went on up to
Oh yeah, we got kamikazes when we made the Battle of the Philippines down there, made the landing, and we got hit down there. We had to come back to the States for overhaul. And we stayed there in the States for I don't know how many months. Then we went back out there and we made the Okinawa invasion. Got hit up out there and come back to the States, and I got transferred.
When you say you got hit, was that a kamikaze attack?
Yeah.
See,
Yeah. We never did get a torpedo hitting or nothing. It was all kamikaze stuff.
that was the worst you had, though. That was when you read it. That was probably.
Well, we lost over 100 men over a period of time when the battle down there in the Philippines. I don't know just exactly how many, but we had 69 dead outright, and one people died later. And, I was glad to get off of that thing. That was a jinx.
But you came on back to the States?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got off of it and got transferred to San Diego. From there they sent me to Jacksonville, Cecil Field down there for discharge, 1945. That wound up my naval career until again in 1952, and you don't want to hear about that.
That was during the Korean War.
Yeah. Of course, I was on the Atlantic side then. I didn't even go to the Pacific. I put all World War II in Pacific. Korean War, I was in the Atlantic. So I didn't have much to do with that war.
Well, when did they make you shave off all of your beard? Was that
When you went into the war zone.
Was that on the Intrepid?
Yeah.
The guy made you.
The captain made them shave them off because they interfered with your gas mask.
And you actually had gas masks.
Oh yeah. We never used them, but I mean that was the probability that they might.
But you got out in 1945.
45.
In
October.
The war was over, and you were glad to come home.
Yeah.
And you went back in
52. Yeah. Finished up my naval career.
Yeah. And then you retired out of the Navy, and you were glad to. You put in some interesting years on equipment. You did some living there.
Yeah, but I tell you, I don't see that there's anything heroic about it. And I just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
At Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Did you think about it at the time?
No, I didn't have time. I was too busy. People say that you don't get scared. Well, to begin with, I didn't get scared because I didn't have time to stop and think about it. But later on, after I'd seen all that happened and everything, it kind of shook you up a little bit. But while the battle was actually going on, people say, "Oh, you get scared." And I said, "The heck, I didn't have time to get scared. I didn't even know what was going on."
Well, how close when those planes came, when the Japanese planes came over?
How close were they?
Yeah.
About 100 yards.
You could see the guys, the pilots.
I could see the pilots, yeah. They come right down
Battleship Road.
Well, it's the channel leading into the sub base. See, they were tied up over there at Fort Island. We were tied up right across in the dock over there. They called 1010 dock. Well, heck, them planes was coming right down that channel. Wasn't no way that you could miss seeing them if you were there looking at them.
But you didn't have any way to shoot back. You could have, if you had a machine gun or something.
Well, the thing of it was, as low as they were, you couldn't fire because you'd have been firing right into one of them battleships.
Yeah. When it was all over and the Japs were left, y'all realized you had been through.
I realized what the heck I'd gone through.
And did you lose anybody? Was anybody on your ship hurt?
We had one man get killed, and he had come off to Texas. He had gotten off to Texas. It capsized on the opposite side of Fort Island.
Yeah.
And he come over there and was standing in the mess hall, and the 50 caliber machine gun bullet come through the bulkhead and killed him. That's the only casualty we had.
That was on the Texas. I mean,
He came off to Texas
Yeah.
after it was capsized. I mean, before it. But he was standing down in the mess hall. They seemed to think the bullet came off of the California. Because they were firing 50 caliber machine guns. Who knows?
Well, Quitman, on behalf, though, this has been an interesting story, and on behalf of the people of Decatur County, I want to thank you for what you did, and I appreciate you sharing it with us. And it'll be in the library, and it'll be history. And thank you again.